Okay, my dear children, so let us start with this lesson number 6 on the face of it, and this is the quick revision of the lesson. And my dear children, so many times in the final examination, many times what actually works is the tricks. So if you know what are the best trick to be applied in the examination, then you can do very well. So the tricks in the examination is that you will have to revise the chapter, because during just before the examination and during the examination time, so you have hardly more time, so you cannot go for extensive studies as you are going through now. So just before the examination you will have to be very brief, and you will have to know the main points. Suppose that you have already had the elaborate study, and when you have it, then you can get through very well. You can come out with flying colors. So my dear children, so this is also our quick revision, and the chapter number is 6, and this is the lesson named on the face of it, and the lesson is written by Susan Hill. So first I will be learning something about the writer Susan Hill. So she was a very famous writer and English author of the fiction and the non-fictional work, who was born on 5th January 1942 in the United Kingdom. To her credit, there are some collections of the novels, and the first one was the Women in the Black, the second one was The Mist in the Mirror, and the third one was the King of the Castle, under the King of the Castle. And for the third one, under the King of the Castle, in the year 1971, she was awarded Somerset Maugham Award. Therefore, we are fortunate to have this author in our chapter, and we'll learn it once again into the form of the revision. And for that purpose, we'll be going through the main points, we'll be going to the introduction, and we'll also have a look at the theme. And then directly we'll be going to the MCQ, and we'll be revising out the concept, we'll be revising out also the main points, and we'll go beyond the text too. Therefore, without wasting our time, let us move to the chapter main points, or the review, the tidbits of the chapter. Therefore, let us go to it and let us learn it through Hidden English, presented by your English teacher K. Jalal. Therefore, here we go. Let's continue. Okay, my dear children. So when you are asked about what does this particular play on the face of it deals with, means what is the subject matter, what is the subject matter, then what will tell? The subject matter is, so this actually tells about what? It talks about the friendship between whom? A young boy named Derry, who is 14 years old, and another old man who is having thin leg. Okay, so this particular lesson talks about the friendship between the young boy Derry, and also the old man Mr. Lamb, and both of them has similarity, because one strikes friendship with the other only when there are affinities, when there are affinities or similarities. When a person is akin to or similar to another, then only they make the friendship. Therefore, it is said that birds of feathers flock together. Okay, birds of feather, F-E-A-T-H-E-R, feathers flock together, F-L-O-C-K, flock together. So similarly, a man is known by the company he keeps. Means you can know the person, you can know about the personality and the character of the person just by seeing or noting the friends. Alright. Therefore, here also we will see the friendship between the old person, Mr. Lamb and Derry, how did they made the friendship, or how they strike into the bond of friendship? That will come to understand through this lesson, and how this usual friendship become little unusual. So we will go to that also. So first let us see the main character. So to start with the main character, let us see their characteristics. 2, 1, Derry, a boy of 14 with the burned face. So he is having what? He is having the physical deformity. Deformity. He is having the physical deformity or impairment. I-M-P-A-I-R, impairment. So similar is the case with Mr. Lamb also. He is also the deformity, and he is having the thin leg. And because of this, okay, because of this, what happened? Both of them become friend, even though they are deformed or physically challenged. Okay, physically challenged. Yet their outlook or their view of the world, the view of the ways of the world is different. Okay, we'll discuss this, and in this lesson once again we will come to understand the view or the perspective of the young boy Derry and Mr. Lamb, who is an old man. Let's see. So when you make the analysis of the character, so it is better that we know some adjectives. आप तो एडजेक्टिव जानते हैं, है ना? एडजेक्टिव. Suppose he is a smart boy. He is a smart boy. So boy is the noun, and what comes before the noun is the adjective, because it attributes some quality, or it defines the noun. Therefore, it's adjective. Therefore, in order to understand, in order to tell about the quality, the characteristics of the feature, what is needed is we need to understand the adjective. Therefore, we will understand the adjective here with the characterization. Therefore, when we are talking about the characterization, we need to concentrate on the characteristics. So see the characteristics of Derry. Derry is having the burnt face. 1. These are physical characteristics or the physical feature. Physical feature is that he is having the burnt face. And how does it occur? It occurred due to the acid. आप जानते हैं ना acid? Hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, है ना? H2SO4, HCl, ये जो है ना, इसका जो concentrated होता है, वो मतलब क्या होता है? इसका असर मतलब बहुत खराब असर होता है ना? And because of it, many a time, what happened? If it falls on your cloth, then it is burned. So such is the case here. Therefore, he was having the burned face, and it is a acid that caused it look very ugly in one sight. And as he was ugly, therefore he was discarded. He was discarded by whom? Discarded by the people, and he was not given any company. And therefore, what happened? He was suffering from what? He was suffering from the isolation or the loneliness. He was suffering from the loneliness, and as he was suffering from the loneliness, as he did not have the company, therefore his view on the world was also negative. That means it was pessimistic. He suffered from the severe negative complexes, है ना? ये देखिए, ये कॉम्प्लेक्स जो होता है ना, COMPLEX, ये कॉम्प्लेक्स होता है. आदमी मतलब दो टाइप का कॉम्प्लेक्स है, मतलब सफर करते हैं. एक तो होता है मतलब सुपीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स, है ना? एक क्या होता है? सुपेरियोरिटी. और दूसरा मतलब क्या होता है? इंफेरियोरिटी. क्या होता है? इंफीरियरिटी होता है. ये कॉम्प्लेक्स होता है. So suppose if you feel that no, I am very great, okay, in my look, in my background, in my education, in everything, so I'm great, then your feeling or your outlook is superior. Your feeling is superior feeling. You suffer from this negative complex. And if it is otherwise, if you feel that no, I am very low, so I am very insignificant, I am very low compared to the other, then you are suffering from inferiority. Therefore, this sort of inferiority complex This sort of inferiority complex was suffered by whom? Suffered by Derry. Because of what? Because of the burnt face. Because of the burnt face. And he was angry, and he was suffering also from the frustration. He was suffering from the frustration. And because of this, what happened? He quit. He quit the human society. है ना? वो अकेले अकेले मतलब रहना पसंद करते हैं, क्योंकि he was not given company because of his ugliness, and he become introvert. है ना? ये देखिए introvert, है ना? So human being जो होता है, एक man मतलब होता है एक, है ना? Human being तीन तरह का होता है, 1 2 3. एक तो होता है introvert, है ना? introvert. और दूसरा मतलब क्या होता है? एक्सट्रोवर्ट. क्या होता है? एक्सट्रोवर्ट. और एक होता है एम्बीवर्ट. है ना? तो ये देखिए, सो एक्सट्रोवर्ट जो होता है वो ना वेरी ओपन माइंडेड होता है एक्सट्रोवर्ट. और जो इंट्रोवर्ट होता है वो ना कुछ बोलते नहीं, वेरी रिजर्व टाइप होता है. क्या होता है? रिजर्व. SERVD. रिजर्व मतलब वो कुछ ना बोलता नहीं. He never opens the heart before anybody, either the father, mother, or friend or relative. Nobody. And some category of the people are there who belong to this category. They are called ambivert, means half extrovert, half introvert. And in this world also, you know, there is a large number of people who belong to this category, this third category of ambivert. All right. Now our Derry actually belonged to which category? He belonged to this introvert. Means he was never open. Okay, he was never open. He was very much reserved. He never shared his heart. He never opened his heart before anybody, and therefore he had low confidence. He indulged in self-pity. Okay, indulged in self-pity. He was suspicious of the intent of the other. He was suspicious about the intention of the other people. Means he was suspicious about the motive of the other people. Means the motive of the other people was not good. That was the thought of our Derry. Therefore, when you understand about this character, then it is okay. Half the work is done. We can understand the lesson very well. So, our Derry is negative. He is young. Okay, he is young. Now we will be talking about Mr. Lamb. He is very positive and he is old. He is very positive and he is very old. Therefore, let us see what are the features of the character. Some of the adjectives we will be talking about, so that you can understand better, and whatever type of the question there may be, whether it is MCQ or long type question, short type question, from this discussion I am very much sure that you can write any of the answers. Let us go for Mr. Lamb with a tin leg. Okay, tin leg. So our Mr. Lamb, so he actually joined the army. He joined the army. So army people when they are in the army, they have to fight the war, and as a result of what happened many times, they are maimed. M-A-I-M-E-D means they are distorted, disfigured. Okay, many of the parts of the body, the limbs of the body are also disfigured. So such is the case with our Mr. Lamb. Also, his one of the leg was blown into the war, and because of that, now he is just simply managing himself with a tin leg. Therefore, now he is a retired person from the army, and he is living in a big campus. Okay, and this is a garden. This is an apple garden, and in the midst of this garden, he is having the house, and most of the time he keeps the curtain of the house very open, and he sits outside the house, and his doors also, the gate doors are also open, so that people can come and have a good talk with him. So that is the attitude of Mr. Lamb. So now let us continue. So even though he was positive, he suffered from loneliness, because the people, particularly the young children, they call him Lammy Lamb. Okay, Lammy Lamb. उनको मतलब बोलते थे, अरे देखो ये Lammy Lamb आ रहे हैं, मतलब ये जो LAME lamb है ना, so he was a lamb person, and therefore people call him Lammy Lamb. Now, what was the reaction of Mr. Lamb? Mr. Lamb मुझे मतलब कोई नाराजी नहीं दिखाया, क्योंकि मतलब वो तो जानते हैं कि हाँ ये तो सच बात है, हम तो लैम तो है ही है, तो इसमें बुरा मनने का क्या जरूरत है? Therefore, he took it in a positive manner. Kept for human company means he needed the human company, and he wished strongly, he longed for the human company and acceptance, so that he also expected that he will be accepted by people. So he was very much jovial in nature. Jovial means he was very much in the happy mood. He was optimistic. Means he was having the positive outlook of life. Lover of nature. He was very much social. He was very much outgoing. He was very much tolerant, helpful, scientific, independent. Did not mind the children calling him Lammy Lamb, or picking the grape apple. When the children came to the fruit garden, or the orchard. Fruit garden also is called ORCHARD, orchard, or the fruit garden. So when the children came to the orchard or the fruit garden, in order to pick the grape apple, so he did not mind it, or neither he mind the pen name of the Lammy Lamb uttered by the small children. Therefore, this is indeed the characteristics of these two people who are the two major characters in this lesson. And when you learn this characteristics of these two characters, the work is half done. Therefore, in order to complete view of the lesson, let us go to the main points. Let us see the main point. So you know that the story, and it is our time for explaining the main point once again. Derry was a teenager. He was 14 years old. Highly pessimistic means negative value. Withdrawn from the mainstream society means he was not social. He was withdrawn. He felt isolated. He developed this attitude after one side of his face was disfigured by the acid. He avoided the company of the others and remained lonely lest he should be noticed by other people. So why he remained isolated? Because he had the fear that he will be noticed by the other people, and then they will begin to feel, and they will try to give some comment on it, which will be very intolerable for him. He believed that no one loved him, and his mother loved him because she was supposed to do. That was the attitude. So his attitude was that everybody hated him, and his mother loved him because she was compelled to love. Once he heard two women commenting about his monstrous appearance. They say it only a mother could love a face like this. So once two women were whispering about the appearance of Derry. So they were telling that. So the look or the appearance is so monstrous. Okay, it looks like a monster. Okay, monster. It is so fearful. It is so terrible that only a mother can only love him. Means no other person in the world other than the mother can love this terrible face. Next one. He also heard another story. On another day, Derry heard his parents conversing that he would not survive after their death because he was deformed. So the parents were talking, and the parents were very much worried about his condition, and they were telling that he cannot survive, he cannot live after the death of his parents. Therefore, let us come to point number 6. Let us go for it. Point number 6. The shock he received from those words was big. So they were conversing, the parents were conversing, and he was utterly or completely shocked. So it was an unknown type of astonishment. Now another conversation that was heard, that was told by the relatives. And this has an impact. This has an indelible impact. Indelible impact. उसका जो असर था वो असर ऐसा था कि मतलब ना you cannot erase it. You cannot simply erase it. It was almost like permanent mark. Okay. Therefore, so what is the other conversation that he had? On another occasion, that he heard his relatives saying that in their opinion, a deformed boy like Derry could accommodate himself with other deformed boys and girls. Derry had his ears always open for such comments and used to respond to them in a silent or quiet way. Silent or quiet way. Now see, this is the third comment given by the relatives. The relatives had the opinion that the deformed children should live in the company of the deformed. So what is your opinion? So is it the relative, or are the relatives right in their opinion? No, not at all. Because they should live with the normal people and they should not have such sort of feeling that they are different. As soon as they will come to understand, then they will feel isolation or lonely, then they will feel discarded or rejected. Once they feel discarded or rejected, then they will have the pessimistic outlook. Once they develop the pessimistic outlook, that will have the damaging effect on their life. Let's see, next point. He concluded that the world altogether did not need a boy like him. So he also had the negative outlook towards the world also. One day Derry accidentally met a man called Mr. Lamb. So you know that the story how he met Mr. Lamb. So he actually thought that there is nobody, and therefore, so he wanted to spend his time in the loneliness, and therefore he did not go by the road. He jumped. Okay, he did not go by the gate. He jumped over the wall and entered into the garden. After that, he was embarrassed to see the owner, Mr. Lamb, whom he least expected. You see, Mr. Lamb was an old man with a lamb leg. After he became lamb, Mr. Lamb began to develop a positive attitude with his deformity. He worked hard to defeat his impairment and learned to walk and climb ladders. He was happy to be alive and ignored his lameness. So our Mr. Lamb, he was an example for the other people too also. He was an example, or he was an inspiration for the deformed people. He developed a positive attitude and he never felt lazy. He was managing his life in a very beautiful manner with his deformity, and he always lived in the company of human beings. Therefore, he was an example. He was an example to emulate. Example to emulate. To follow. Because he had the positive outlook towards his deformity also. He wanted to defeat the impairment. Let us see next one. He met everyone, his friend, and had a house with a nook, curtain, and open doors. He welcomed anyone who came to him. While Mr. Lamb took his impairment as a challenge and tried to overcome it, Daddy believed that he was unwanted and lost. See, this is the contrast. Contrast between the two characters, Master Derry and Mr. Lamb. So once Mr. Lamb took the impairment or the physical deformity as the challenge, and then he tried to overcome it, and he tried his level best to live just like a normal human being. He never felt that he was unwanted wits. But our Master Derry felt that he was just like unwanted weeds to be thrown by the people, given up to the company. His pain was physical and mental. Being a child, he was not as strong as Mr. Lamb about his suffering. So these two persons are different. Even though the child of 14 years was also weak compared to the old man, Mr. Lamb. Let's see point number 40. He could not take this snaring and sympathizing world as taken by Mr. Lamb. When the world was jeering or when the world was mocking, when the world was showing sympathy, pity, then he could not tolerate it. He could not digest it as it was digested by Mr. Lamb. Lamb was able to sit smart and unaffected as long as he ordered the torture and said, but Derry had no way to hide his face. One difference between these two is that one can hide the deformity. Mr. Lamb can hide the deformity, whereas our Master Derry could not hide it, because one part or the one part of the face, one side of the face was burned by the acid. Next point. After meeting Mr. Lamb, then he realized how foolish he had been to believe his parents. Now a change has come. Change has overtaken whom? Master Derry. So Master Derry believed to whom? The parents. What was the belief? That he cannot live or he cannot outlive the parents. So that was the kind of foolishness. So now, after coming into the contact with Mr. Lamb, his outlook towards the world, towards the deformity was totally changed, and then he felt that yes, his parents were too foolish to have this sort of idea. Next one. For him, Lamb was a man who opened the door of his closed world in an hour's time, the same of which were shut on him by his parents, and therefore he believed that his company with a lamp would make him a perfect person. Now he could judge that a world was totally shut upon him. A world was shut upon him. A world was closed upon him, and that was opened by whom? Opened by Mr. Lamb. Who actually closed this particular world? The parents, because of the attitude. Therefore, let us see next point. At the end, the Derry goes back to his house, where his mother cross-questioned him. She had instructed him not to step out of the house. So, after the conversation, after giving the assurance that Derry will come back to Mr. Lamb, he went home. But after reaching home, the mother cross-questioned to him, telling that he is a stranger and you should not go there. She had also instructed him not to step out of the house and meet Mr. Lamb, because people tell a lot of things about Mr. Lamb. Let us see next point. Derry tried to convince his mother that Mr. Lamb was an extremely good man, but she was not ready to listen. So Derry was totally persuaded or convinced by the talk, by the persuading power of Mr. Lamb, and therefore he wanted to persuade the mother that Mr. Lamb was an extremely good man. But the mother was not ready to listen, or mother was not ready to be convinced. Let's see next point. Ignoring his mother's thoughtless restriction, then he left his home and ran into Mr. Lamb's garden. So, this is the first instance that Derry did not obey the parents' order and then went out of the house. Okay, telling that if I do not miss Mr. Lamb, then I will meet nobody. Means I am very much sure of the iron will to meet Mr. Lamb. I will have to meet Mr. Lamb. If I do not meet him, I will meet nobody. Therefore, so saying, he ran off. He hurried up to Mr. Lamb. But lo, what happened? Something different happened. Mr. Lamb fell down from the tree and died there when he wanted to pluck the crab apple. Let's see. On reaching, Derry found a motionless man. Derry found a motionless Mr. Lamb fallen from the ladder. He had fallen while pulling the crab apples down from the tree. So he was a very independent person. Who was an independent person? Mr. Lamb. Therefore, without the help of anybody, he wanted to pick the crab apple. So while he was doing the same with the help of the ladder, then he had a fall. He had a miserable fall, and with this fall, what happened? He also fell, means he also died. He also died. And when Master Derry came, it was too late. He was lying there unmoved, and he was not at all having life. That means he died. Therefore, this is in between the summary. Now, my dear children, so we will be directly going to the theme and finally to the MCQ. Let us go to it. So, in this lesson, the theme, there are many threads of the theme. There are many THREAD threads. Okay, and one of the thread is related to the appearance. That appearance is very much decent. What we see, that never happens. Appearance are deceptive, and most often we go on dealing with the impression and prejudices about other without caring to know about them actually. So, what we do, many times we are deceived by the appearance, and we begin to judge the people on the basis of the previous impression that we have, and on the basis of the pre-notion, or preconception. On the basis of the preconception, we begin to judge, and in majority of the cases, this judgment become wrong. So, this is one of the threads or the theme that this lesson deals with. Next, people who suffer from disability must always look at the brighter side of things and adapt reality of life bravely. So, this is also a question of adaptation, survival of the fittest. So, it actually gives the message to the people who are suffering from disability, that disability should not be taken as a negative. It should be taken as a challenge, and one should fight against it and then live a very normal life. The third thread of the theme is that a deformed person is very much hurt or wounded by the outlook of the people on him. So, one should behave him just like normal human being, not something or someone very exceptional. So, these are the different threads of the theme that is dealt by this lesson. So, my dear children, now we are coming to the MCQ part. So, this will be kind of the accuracy. Okay, accuracy. You can get the accuracy from this MCQ, and it will be the direct help for the examination point of view. Let us go. Question number 1. Who has written on the face of it? Means we are talking about the writer Susan Hill. This is very sure option is correct. What is this play featuring? Okay, so हम जानते हैं, ये देखते हैं featured, है ना? So ये featured जब मतलब verb होगा, means it actually presents, and when it is a noun, that means we are talking about what? We are talking about the traits. We are talking about the traits or characteristics. Therefore, what does this play? This is a play, and this is a play or the drama, and this is a play or the drama features. So what? Features two human beings. Okay. So when the movie starts, in the start of the movie also, this movie features the hero Amitabh Bachchan and Rekha. Okay, like that. Therefore, here also we will see, that means it talks about the major characters. What is this film? What is this play featuring? So you can write this question in this manner also. What does this play feature? Okay, this answer question also will be better. Then let us see the answer. An old man and the small boy of 14 named Derry meeting an old man's garden. Meeting in an old man's garden. This is exactly correct. Gossip of old man, no. Old man's woo or sorrow, no. Brief act of a small boy. Therefore, option number A is correct. an old man and a small boy meeting in an old man's garden. Correct. Let's go for the next question number 3. Let's see. Who is Mr. Lamb? Very simple question. Let's see. Who is Mr. Lamb? Mr. Lamb is an old man, not a young man. Middle-aged man? None. हो ही नहीं सकता. Question number 4. What were Derry and Mr. Lamb victims of? Means we are talking about the deformity. We are talking about the deformity or impairment. Impairment. So they were the victim of vision impairment. No, they could see very well. Physical impairment, yes, very much. Physical impairment. One on the face, other on the leg. The old man on the leg, other person in the face. Or no, none. Therefore, option number B, physical deformity or physical impairment is the correct option. Let's see the next question number 5. Why did Mr. Lamb help Derry? Why did Mr. Lamb help Derry? देखते हैं अभी. Because both were victims of war. No. Both कैसे मतलब? एक तो हुआ था. One was the victim. Mr. Lamb was the victim. Not both. Therefore, not the correct answer. Both were sad. Both were sad. ये थोड़ा partially correct है. Both were victims of the physical impairment. Because he wanted Derry to change his view of life. ये भी मतलब ना partially ये भी correct है. लेकिन अभी जब हम देखेंगे ये ज़्यादा correct है. Because he wanted Derry to change his view or outlook of life. View or outlook on life. Means he was having the old Lamb was having the positive outlook and Derry had the negative outlook, and he wanted to change this outlook into positive, and he was successful towards the end. Let's see next question number 6. Question number 6. Who is Derry? Very simple question. Derek, a boy of 14 and has acid burned on his face. Exactly. A small boy, ये भी correct है. A boy, ये भी correct है. A young boy, ये भी correct है. लेकिन सबसे correct इधर है full specification. Therefore, option A is correct, not B or C or D. Option A is correct. Now let us see question number 7. What unites Mr. Lamb and Derry? What unites? देखते हैं अभी कौन सी चीज है जो दोनों को मतलब क्या करते हैं, इकट्ठा करते हैं, bring together, or their friendship is cemented because of what? Because of what? Let us see. Their is no, they are totally different, therefore it cannot be. Their was, maybe, who knows. Their life stories, maybe, who knows. Their physical impairment, this is exactly correct. This is exactly correct because they suffer from the physical impairment, and because of this similarity, as I told you, there should be what? There should be akiness, means there should be what? Similarity. है ना? There should be what? Similarity. Similarity between the two persons A and B to have the friendship. Therefore, this similarity was in the form of the physical impairment. Alright, let us see next question number 8. Let us go for it. Question number 8. How did Mr. Lamb keep himself busy? How did Mr. Lamb keep himself busy? तो पहले देखते हैं by reading books. हो सकते हैं. Books are the never failing friends. Books are never failing friends. है ना? Everybody can give up to the company, but not the books. By chatting with people, ये भी किया था. By pulling down the ripe grape apple, ये भी किया था. जब A, B, C all are correct, therefore option D is very correct. These are the ways that he spent the time and enjoyed the time. Let's see next one, number 9. Why did Derry go to Mr. Lamb's garden? देखते हैं अभी मोटिव देखते हैं ना, ये जाने का जो इंटेंशन था, ओके, इंटेंट और इंटेंशन, वो मतलब क्या था, क्या पर्पस के लिए गए थे, है ना, इंटेंट और पर्पस और मोटिव। वो मोटिव मतलब क्या था हम देखते हैं। टू स्टील द एप्पल, नो। टू स्पीक टू मिस्टर लैम, ऐसा भी कभी नहीं है ना, उनसे कभी मुलाकात भी नहीं हुआ, फ्रेंडशिप भी नहीं हुआ। टू हेल्प द ओल्ड मैन, नो, नॉट एट ऑल। टू फिल दैट प्लेस, है ना, ये एग्जैक्टली वो जो प्लेस है, हाउ डज दिस प्लेस फिल, so he wanted to experience that particular place, and therefore that was the purpose or the intent of his visit to the garden of Islam. Let's see next question number 10. Let us go for it. Question number 10. How did Derry enter the garden? तो अभी हम जो पहले जो हमारा नॉलेज है, on the basis of the पहले knowledge, so let us just this also another tackle. So कैसे मतलब वो एंटर किए थे, हमको मालूम है कि मतलब ना, so just not through the main gate, okay, jumping over the wall, okay, means he went there stealthily, okay, stealthily, or furtively, furtively means secretly, है ना, secretly means without the knowledge of anybody, ये हमको मतलब नॉलेज में है। तो अभी देखते हैं इधर ऑप्शन में ये सारे पॉइंट आता है नहीं, देखते हैं। फ्रॉम द फ्रंट गेट, ऐसा तो बिल्कुल नहीं है। फ्रॉम द साइड गेट, गेट से गया ही नहीं है। फ्रॉम द बैक गेट, गेट से वो गया ही नहीं, मेन गेट छोड़ के। बाय क्लाइंबिंग द गार्डन वॉल, यस, स्ट्राइक किया हुआ है, मीन्स ही वेंट जंपिंग ओवर द वॉल, करेक्ट। लेट्स सी क्वेश्चन नंबर 11, लेट्स गो फॉर इट। Question number 11. Why did Mr. Lamb keep the door of his garden open? ये देखिए. So from here we can understand about the outlook of Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb was a very social person, है ना? He was a very social person, and therefore he, when opened the gate or kept the gate open, the motive was, the sole motive or the main motive of it was that he wanted to talk to people, make friendship with them. Therefore, let us see. To keep an eye over his garden, no. To be safe, not at all. To chat with people, exactly correct है ना? वो आदमी के साथ मतलब बातचीत करना चाहते थे, फ्रेंडशिप करना चाहते थे, टाइम पास करना चाहते थे, in just by gossiping with other people or talking with other people and have a good time. None cannot be. Therefore, option number C is very correct. Therefore, let's go for next question. Question number 12. Let's see the question. Why did children call Mr. Lamb Lammy Lammy? Exactly similar, okay, question we have already discussed. Let's see the option. Because he stopped them from taking apple. No, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ. He always encouraged the people to take apple. He spoke rudely. No, he was always a very humorous type of person. He was a very funny type of person. He was a very jolly type of person. He was a very jolly, joken type of person. Joken. Okay, means he was always smiling. They did not like him. No, because of his broken leg, bump expression. Yes, his leg was broken, and then for this reason that the children call him Lammy Lamb. Let's see next question, number 30. Let's go for it. Why did Mr. Lamb feel hurt by children's command? Why did not Mr. Lamb feel hurt by children's command? तो अभी देखते हैं, ये पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड का बात है. And Mr. Lamb also was a very realistic person. He understood that yes, when they tell this is correct only, because he thought that suits him, means that is correct. When the children are telling him Lammy Lamb, they are true only. That is correct. Therefore, what is there to mind? He loves the children. He likes them. He wants them to play with in the garden. No? Therefore, option A is right. Let us see number 14. What does Mr. Lamb grow in his garden? उनका गार्डन जो था, वो गार्डन में क्या था? ज्यादातर मतलब क्या था? क्रेप एप्पल, है ना? क्रेप एप्पल, CRAB, क्रेप एप्पल. वो हमको मालूम है. Not cherry, not peach, not pomegranate. So, Let's see question number 15. How did Mr. Lamb pick apples? जो हमारा जो मिस्टर लैम्ब है वो लैम्ब कैसा टाइप ऑफ आदमी है? ही इज अ वेरी इंडिपेंडेंट टाइप ऑफ पर्सन. ही इज वेरी independent type of person. Means he was not totally dependent on another, even though he was suffering from deformity. His look or outlook was very positive, therefore he helped himself. It is said that God helped them who helped themselves. तो वो भी ना अपने को खुद हेल्प किया. Therefore you see, how did Mr. Lamb pick apples? Bending down? No. With the help of his servant? No. There is no mention of the servant. With the help of the children? No. Using a ladder and stick? Exactly. He was using the ladder, and towards the end of the story also, he became the victim of the accident. He met with the death because of his fall from the ladder. Let's see question number 16. Number 16. How did Mr. Lamb use the apple? So means what are the use? Maybe he made some jelly, and therefore he made jam. There is no mention of it. Made pickles, no mention. Earned money, no mention. He used to make jelly with them. Let's see next question number 17. Why did Derry go to Mr. Lamb at the end? So this shows that the negativity in Mr. Derry is changed. He became a positive person, and therefore he was convinced and he wanted to go there. Let's see the option. Because of his wish to live a free life. Exactly correct. He wanted apple, never. He wanted to play in the garden, no. None. Therefore option A is correct. Therefore next question number 18. Let us go for the next question. Why did Derry's mother stop him to stay with Mr. Lamb? So what is the notion and what is the purpose of the mothers to stop Derry to visit Mr. Lamb? Let's see the option. Because he was not well? No. Because he would scold him? No. Because he talked too much? No. Because she did not want him to stay with a stranger. This is the exactly correct answer. Let's see the next question, number 19. Let us go for it. Question number 19. Why did Derry share his affair with Mr. Lamb? Why did Derry share his affair with Mr. Lamb? Let's see the option. Because he had a garden? No. Because he was old? No. Because he understood him and was friendly. Why did Derry share his affair with Mr. Lamb? Now, one will open to another person only when he is convinced, only when he feels that he is a well-wisher. Therefore, understanding is very much needed. Amity is very much needed. Friendly quality is also needed. Therefore, option C is correct. Let's see next question number 20. How did Mr. Lamb help Derry? By giving him apple? No. By talking to him? No. By helping his mother? No. By giving him a positive outlook towards life. So Mr. Lamb helped Derry by giving him the positive outlook, or just by instilling the positive outlook on life, just by having some discussion. Let us see next question, number 21. Okay, now let us continue with the number 21. Why did Mr. Lamb call Derry blessed? So one person is a blessed compared to the another person. If he is in a fortunate position compared to the other, then we will call the blessed person. That means this is the question of the comparison. Therefore, let us see what is the kind of the feeling or the notion because of which Derry is felt as being blessed in the eye of Mr. Lamb. Because he was young, because he had a mother, because he had friends, no, ye nahi the. Because except a burnt face, he had a perfectly healthy body. ये बिल्कुल सही है. Therefore, even though his face was burned, other part of the body was exactly functioning and perfectly beautiful. Therefore, the option is correct. Number 22. Which story did Mr. Lamb narrate to Derry? Okay. So, this particular story. So, you heard of this story of the Beauty and the Beast. Okay. One rich man. So, this story is like this. The rich man had three daughters. Three daughters, although the three were beautiful. How many daughters? Three daughters. Number 1, 2 and 3. Let us give up this one. So these elder two, they were always fashionable. They looked only for the dresses and the beautiful apparels or the dresses. The third one went for the natural beauty. Her name itself was Beauty. And these two are called the Beast. So this is the story. You will get to know this is a fairy tale, and this story was told in order to instill the positivity into the mind of our Derry. Not the story of Cinderella, not snowman, not dwarfman, but the story of the Beauty and the Beast, the story of the three daughters of the rich man who become poor, again become rich. Now let us see question number 23. Question number 23. What kind of a garden did Mr. Lamb have? This is a very simple one. So his garden was the garden of the apple garden or grape apple garden, not peach, plum, cherry. We have already discussed this question. Where was Mr. Lamb's house? ये भी बहुत simple है. On a tree? No. On the road? No. On a street? No. Inside the garden? Exactly. Correct. Let us see. Next question. Number 25. How did Derry burn his face? Simple. Acid burned the face. Not hot water, not the gas stove, not in fire. Why even in spite of physical disability, Mr. Lamb did not feel lonely. Okay. So we know Mr. Lamb, he is a positive person, or he is called Mr. Positive. And because of that, he took it as a challenge, and therefore he felt never about the deformity. Because he was a busy person, of course he was, because he had a garden, वो भी सही था, लेकिन ये आंसर इधर नहीं आएगा. He had servant, no mention of it, because he never let himself to be alone, keep himself. Okay. So he never felt himself to be alone and keep himself busy with the talking, walking or gossiping. Therefore, let us see the next question, number 27. Let us go for it. Number 27. Why did Mr. Lamb keep the door of his garden open? The door of the garden was open in order to let the people come in, to have fine contact with the outer world, exactly same. To avoid opening the door again, to get fresh air, to let the people come in. Therefore, option D is correct. Number 28. Why did Derry develop an inferiority complex? ये देखिए. We have discussed this complex, inferiority complex. He was suffering from. What is the reason? The reason was his burnt face. Because of his burnt face. Exactly correct. He didn't have much money, no. He didn't have the big house, no. D, none. Wrong. Option C is correct. Because of his burnt face. Let us see question number 29. Why did Derry like to be alone? So human being likes the company of the dog. Nobody wants to be isolated for alone. Therefore, everyone needs what? Friends or companions. But Derry wanted what? Loneliness, isolation, alienation. What is the reason? Because of the burnt face. Exactly correct. Because he could not bear with other people's coming. Because when he will be in the company of the other people, they will pass some unnecessary command that will hurt him, and therefore he wanted to avoid the company. Because of the inferiority complex that developed in the process. Therefore, when all the three answers are correct, option D is very correct. Therefore, option D, all this are the reasons or the factor for which he was very lonely or he led a lonely life. Let us see question number 30. How did the meeting of Mr. Lamb become a turning point for Derry? Okay. Many times, many event or occurrence become turning point into the life of other people. ये जो टर्निंग पॉइंट है, टर्निंग पॉइंट का मतलब क्या है? टर्निंग पॉइंट का मतलब है एन मेमोरेबल इवेंट, है ना? ऐसा एक इवेंट है जो आप भूल नहीं सकते, है ना? माइलस्टोन, उसको मतलब क्या बोलते हैं? उसको बोलते हैं माइलस्टोन, MILE, माइल, STONE, माइलस्टोन, है ना? माइलस्टोन मतलब some remarkable event. Why did the meeting with Mr. Lamb was a remarkable event in the life of Mr. Derry? Because his outlook or attitude towards life had a drastic change, vital change, crucial change. Because of that, let us see. He encouraged Derry to be frank with anyone and not to be bothered by their comment. Yes, sir. It taught him to look at everything positive. It means he persuaded him or he suggested him to look at the brighter side or the positive side of life, not the darker side. He taught him to admire everything. So, he taught that if you dislike, it is just like an acid that will burn you from inside. Therefore, you are to like, you are to admire everything. Therefore, option when all A, B, C are correct, therefore D is very correct. Option D, all these are correct. So, the meeting between Mr. Lamb and Derry was a turning point for Derry, for the region, all the three regions mentioned above. Therefore, option D is correct. Let us go for next one, next point, next question, question number 31. Why did Derry learn from the fairy tale? What did Derry learn from the fairy tale? वो जो fairy tale है, आपको भी मतलब क्या करना है? You have to learn the fairy tale, the Beauty and the Beast. Beauty was the third daughter, and Beast were the first and the second daughter, who were leading a very luxurious life, and they disliked other people who were not dressed properly. Therefore, what is the lesson? What is the lesson that was learned from there? Let us see the lesson. How to look beautiful, how to make friends, learn to love and appreciate himself. All these options. Option D is very correct. Now let us see question number 32. How was Mr. Lamb happy in spite of his disability? Let us see the option. Because of his acceptance of it. Means the deformity was accepted, not rejected. Because he was wise, वो भी सही है. Because he had grown old, okay, old and wise, and accepted, not rejected. Therefore, the option D, all these factors were responsible for the happiness of Mr. Lamb in spite of his deformity. Let us go for number 33. Why did Derry always find a vacant place to live? Find a vacant place to live. Means empty place. Vacant means empty place. Because of his what? Inferiority complex. Because he was very much what? Scared of people. Because he wanted to lead lonely life. Therefore, option D is correct. Option D is correct because A, he liked to be alone. It will be correct. He is scared or afraid of people. It will be correct. Because of the inferiority complex, as he had burned face. So his one side of the face was burned. Because of that, he felt inferiority complex, and that was one of the reasons of his avoiding the company or discarding the company or avoiding the company to the human being. Let us see next question number 34. Number 34. Why was Derry startled entering the garden? Why was Derry startled? Startled means unexpected surprise, है ना? Unexpected surprise. क्या कारण थे? क्योंकि उनका मतलब कुछ एटीट्यूड था, उसका ऐसा मतलब सोचना था कि हाँ, nobody will be there in the garden, I will be alone and I can have the feel of the garden. Therefore, but what happened? Man proposes, God disposes. आप कुछ सोचते हैं, दूसरा कुछ हो जाते हैं. Therefore, you are shocked, you are stunned, you are astonished, you are very much surprised, you are startled. Let's see the option. Because of the tree? No. Because of the apple? Not at all. Because he expected no one else but to sing Mr. Lamb. Therefore, he accepted nobody, but he found Mr. Lamb, and that was the cause of the startlement. That was the cause of the surprise, unknown surprise for the. Let us see question number 35. Question number 35. What complex does Derry suffer from? We have already discussed inferiority complex. Why did Mr. Lamb not have curtains? So this question is related to the outlook, and this is to have the view of the people and have a talk. You see, it is difficult to wash, no? Too expensive, no? Because he wanted the visitors into the house. He expected the visitors to come in, have a talk, gossip. Therefore, the option C is correct. Number 37. Number 37. What did Mr. Lamb tell about himself? What did Mr. Lamb tell about himself? He had a thin leg, correct hai. Still he was happy, wo bhi correct hai. He never mind even that the children teased him or mocked him or making fun of him. Making fun of. Okay? He did not mind it. Wo bhi correct hai. Therefore, when all these three are correct, option D is correct. All this. Next, number 38. Let us go for number 38. What specific thing about Mr. Lamb does Derry notice? So, some of the specific fixed thing that we can see that was noticed by Derry when he visited Mr. Lamb all of a sudden. A man of firm resolution. So, he had the resolution, means he could have made up his mind. He could make his mind up. Okay, means he could decide. He could what? He could decide, means a decision power. Okay, the power of the decision, means he was not a kind of wavering type of person. Okay, irresolute. Okay, irresolute. Means he was very much fixed in his, he was very much firm in his decision. Exactly. Next point. A man of firm resolution, exactly correct. Always remain happy in spite of deformity, every correct. Had a positive outlook, every correct. Therefore, option number D, all these are correct. Number 39. In what sense was the friendship between Lamb and Derry? Was fruitful or prolific? Prolific means successful. SUCCESSFUL, success. So, in what sense the amity or the friendship between Lamb and Derry was successful? तो हम देखते हैं अभी. He gave him fruit to eat, no. His maturity, no. Both were good companions, and Lamb's mature experience and words helped Derry to have positive view of life. Yeah, exactly correct answer. Because Mr. Lamb has the positive induction, means उनका जो outlook था, वो outlook was induced. That means our small Derry was affected by or influenced by the positive outlook, and therefore he began to change his attitude to the positivity. Let us go for next question, number 40. What addressed Derry towards Lamb? Okay, what addressed Derry towards Lamb? ये देखिए. So some pulling power, some magnetic power there should be, some magnetism, attractive power. So वो attractive power क्या था? वो attractive power था the positive attitude. देखते his appearance, no, there is no mention of the appearance. His grief, उसका sorrow, no, he never expresses sorrow. His a positive outlook, yes, very much. Therefore, it is very easy to single out the answer because all these options seems to be incorrect. Therefore, there is no question of the option D, all this, because A and B are already incorrect. Therefore, my dear children, option number C is correct. His a positive outlook, has the pulling capacity or magnetic capacity that drew Derry towards Mr. Lamb. So in this way, the friendship was established. The friendship could not last long because of the old man died. So my dear children, suppose you understood the lesson beautifully, and whatever question comes, you can write the answer of any type of question, including the MCQ, based after the conception of this lesson. Therefore, my dear children, we wanted to meet in the next video on the Vistas lesson tomorrow. So with this expectation, let us conclude. Thanks to all and have a very, very good day.